In boxing, legends are made and reputations are ruined with a single punch. And in the summer of 1986, a young phenom named Mike Tyson quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with in the heavyweight division.
Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has... Watch this. Bangs him right back. And you see...
At 19, he had already annihilated 19 opponents, knocking them all out in spectacular ways. But his 20th fight would prove to be a different kind of challenge. On May 3, 1986, Tyson faced former heavyweight contender James "Quick" Tillis in the ring. Tillis was severely favored, having lost 4 of his previous 5 fights. Tyson was supposed to deliver another swift and savage knockout, but Tillis had other intentions. He fought the young prodigy for 10 rounds, demonstrating incredible passion and technique. Tillis, however, put on a reasonable effort and took Tyson the full 10 rounds, the first time in Tyson's professional career. Tyson won by unanimous decision. Only 4 days later, the boxing world was rocked by an unexpected statement. Tyson was scheduled to fight Mitch Blood Green, a heavyweight ranked 1 slot higher in the WBC rankings, on May 20th at Madison Square Garden. Despite Green's better rating, the financial stakes were vastly different. Tyson was promised a $250,000 prize, while Green was expected to get only $30,000. Mitch Green, born January 13, 1957, was an American professional boxer who competed from 1980 to 2005. Green grew up on 175th Street between Anthony and Clay Avenues in the Bronx. When I was 17, I was shot twice. But it had to be God's will that I wasn't wounded, Green explained. Green was shot for the first time with a .22 Magnum. The bullet went through his right wrist, but it missed arteries, bones, and nerves, and Green was back in the fight a few weeks later. He got a graze wound the second time when a slug slit the right side of his skull, leaving a slight puffy scar. Gunfights ironically prompted Green's switch to less dangerous boxing. Later, he relocated to Jamaica, Queens, where he allegedly clashed with another Jamaican, outstanding amateur boxer Carl Williams. He won the New York Golden Gloves 4 times as an amateur and recorded 64 wins and 7 defeats, including 51 victories by knockout. Green won the 1976 championship over Anthony Zempelli. Green also won the championship in 1979 by defeating Ralph Fucci and in 1980 by defeating Merlin Castellanos. In the 1978 competition, he lost a crucial cut, stopping him from capturing a 5th Golden Gloves title. Mitch Green faced a defeat against Igor Visatsky, a renowned Russian boxer, in a match that took place in 1978. Despite this loss, Green was considered a promising contender for the 1980 Olympic Games scheduled in Moscow. However, due to the United States boycott of the event, Green could not participate. In the same year, he also suffered a loss to Marvis Frazier in the quarterfinals of the Olympic trials. Fortunately, Green achieved victory in the finals of the Eastern Regionals by defeating the highly regarded boxer Woody Clark. During his amateur career, Green encountered future world champions Greg Page and Tony Tubbs, resulting in defeats. However, he managed to win against Tubbs in the 1978 Sports Festival. Surprisingly, Green also faced a loss in a New York-Chicago inner-city matchup against Alfonso Ratliff, who would become a cruiserweight champion. Green made his official debut in 1980, signing with rock promoter Shelley Finkel, whom he met at the 1979 New York Golden Gloves. Green was one of NBC's Tomorrow's Champions, a group of Finkel's young pros that also featured Alex Ramos, Tony Ayala Jr., Donald Curry, and Johnny Bumpus, and was ranked as high as number 7 by the World Boxing Council and in the top 10 by the World Boxing Association as a professional. Green quit Finkel after a year as a pro due to a payout disagreement. Carl King, the son of Don King, Green's publicist, handled him.
It's not right. Got nothing to do with me, man. Don't mess with my life, I'm telling you now. You're not gonna mess up my life no more. Punk. Take my money, man.
Mitch went undefeated in his first 16 fights, including a points victory over the tough Floyd Jumbo Cummings in 1983 and a draw with trial horse Robert Evans. On August 10, 1985, he lost a 12-round decision against future WBC champion Trevor Berbick in an attempt for the U.S. Boxing Association Championship. Green angrily interrupted a pre-fight news conference for the Larry Holmes vs. David Bay title bout in March 1985, alleging that he was a far stronger candidate than Bay and requesting a battle with Don King's team. While Tyson dominated most of the fight, he couldn't knock Green down. In a glimpse of what would become a pattern in Tyson's future fights, particularly his championship bouts the following year against James Bone Crusher Smith and Tony Tucker, Green frequently resorted to clinching Tyson in an attempt to diminish the impact of Tyson's powerful punches. However, Green's offensive output was minimal, and Tyson emerged victorious with a one-sided unanimous decision. The judges' scores were 9-1 and 8-2 in favor of Tyson, highlighting his clear superiority in the match.
Observe the fight, 9-1 for the winner. For his 21st straight win and his many fights, Mike Tyson.
Although the two combatants never met again in a boxing ring, Tyson and Green were involved in a high-profile street battle 2 years later when Tyson was the undisputed heavyweight champion. Green was enraged with Tyson, claiming that promoter Don King had underpaid him and demanding a lucrative second battle that he was unlikely to obtain, at least not inside the ropes. But Green had another reason for approaching Tyson in August 1988. He was a notorious New York gang member. He thought Tyson entering his territory in the early morning hours was a liberty he couldn't allow without losing face. Tyson was in Harlem to pick up an $850 white leather jacket with the phrase, "Don't believe the hype," written across the back, the title of a Public Enemy song. Green stormed into the business, bare-chested and hurling abuses at his sworn nemesis, having been informed of Tyson's presence. Tyson had been out nightclubbing and partying the night before. Nonetheless, in his book, Undisputed Truth, he maintains that he was attempting to play the part of a corporate, endorsement-friendly champion at the time. So Tyson said, "Now, Mitch, you must think about what you're doing. In the long term, this action does not benefit your health. You'll recall that I already defeated you when we met in the ring. You must immediately travel to the nearest exit. Whatever you believe, the chances are that a drunk 22-year-old Tyson shouted these remarks on the harsh streets at 4 a.m. What happened next was unquestionably a savage beating. Green ripped Tyson's shirt pocket, leading him to respond, according to Tyson. According to Green, Tyson twisted his rings around to avoid damaging them before sucker punching him. But Tyson unquestionably delivered the opening blow and plenty more followed. "I was drunk and didn't realize he was high on angel dust, PCP, and wasn't going to hit me back," Tyson explained. "I was punching and crunching him and he was weaving and wobbling from side to side like he was about to fall, but he didn't. So I did a Enter the Dragon roundhouse kick on his ass and he fell." However, while Tyson and his driver were walking to their car, a zombie-like Green appeared and kicked Tyson in the balls. Tyson knocked Green down again, but when he tried to flee in his Rolls Royce, his driver told him they couldn't go because Green was beneath the wheels. Blood stood up again and ripped off one of the car's wing mirrors, infuriating Tyson even more. This time, Tyson stepped out of his vehicle and delivered my signature punch, the right uppercut. Boom! Mitch flew into the air and landed on his head like a rag doll. Tyson was scared that he had indeed killed Green in the aftermath. When the police came at 5 a.m., they discovered Green alive but with facial bruises, a swollen left eye, and a terrible cut on the bridge of his nose. Tyson did not escape the pandemonium unscathed. A hairline fracture in his right hand forced him to postpone his championship defense against Britain's Frank Bruno, which ultimately took place the following year. This would not be the last time the two would cross paths. Tyson couldn't believe his eyes when only days after the event, he saw Green pedal past him on a 10-speed bike while on a New York date. That can't be Mitch Green because I know he's a zombie and doesn't come out during the day, Tyson reasoned. To his surprise, Tyson's assessment was proven wrong, as it was indeed Green on the bike. This led to a verbal confrontation between Tyson and Green until Tyson's date intervened and helped calm the situation down. Green sought retribution in court, suing Tyson for $25 million 9 years later outside Dapper Dan's. However, Blood was only granted $45,000 in court, insufficient to cover his legal fees. Despite this, Green is said to have exited the courthouse saying, "I'm the winner. I whooped him." Green never pummeled Tyson in the ring or on the streets. As the dust settled and the fight between Mitch Green and Mike Tyson ended, it marked a pivotal moment in both fighters' careers. Was the fight enough to satisfy Green, or did the financial disparity leave a sour taste in his mouth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, remember to like and subscribe to stay updated on all our latest content.
I'm asking this the cat. How, I'm Mike Tyson. I call him Cotton Michelle. Hey, man, how you gonna hit a man with his bare hand and break his whole hand? Yeah. Come on, talk to me.